Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy LOZA. We're finally back. We're looking at another Dark Magician deck to roast. This is a first place, undefeated Dark Magician deck for August 2022. Yes, Dark Magician can be rogue in 2022. I kinda disagree. But then you look at the main deck and I can kinda see what they're getting at. So let's go ahead and full screen this bad boy. We can see some cards in here that would probably make the game not fun for the opponent. I'm talking about Super Polymerization. This card is nuts. I'm talking about Mystic Mine. If you're keeping up with the modern meta, you see all these deck lists keep topping with Mystic Mine. It started with the Sky Striker build, and now every deck's just doing it, right? Even pure Mystic Mine is just topping. It's kind of ridiculous. Konami will address the card surely on the next ban list. That does not discredit this man's win, however. Apparently, it was a locals win. And mind you, if you go and watch this video, you'll notice that they've got pre-prep instead of prep. They do fix that up later in the video, which I was confused about, but I thought I'd skip ahead. And they did fix it. I do love to see it. So I thought I'd go over each card by card, and we can kind of talk about the deck list. So give me a sec to rebuild this deck. Alright, I'm going to start with the cards I think they missed, or more or less, the only things I can really critique on the ratios. So, they're not playing Upstart, which, as most people know now, this card is so good in Dark Magician. If this ever comes back to 2 or 3, you know I'm going to be playing it. And people who can't see that, the simple synergy here is that Soul Servant literally stacks your deck. So Upstart and Soul Servant are crazy because you can just turn these 2 cards in your hand into Magician Souls here, which doesn't want to come up for me right now. So you can go Upstart, your opponent won't Asher because it's Upstart, chain Soul Servant, put Magician Souls on top of your deck, cracked, you get Magician Souls, use Magician Souls, summon out DM or Souls, cracked, banish Soul Servant, draw 1. You've gone equal in card advantage, but you've got exactly where you want it to go to your Dark Magician in the grave or field, or your DMG grave field, right? It just works. It just works. Not to mention you could do the exact same thing with Circle, of course. You could just literally go Upstart. Oh god, I can't get this card off me. You could literally go, get off. You can literally activate Circle, see a card you like you might have sided in Lancia for the matchup, and you see it off Circle. Great. I'm going to grab Eternal Soul off the Circle and then put Lancia on top, Upstart, draw into the Lancia. Great. Or, a bonus question, what if I Circle and all 3 cards are garbage and I have Upstart in hand? Well, I'm going to hope that I have a card like Magician Salvation or Illusion of Chaos to shuffle those top 3 because I don't want to draw any of them. Let's Upstart into something new. So Upstart, super useful in this deck. You could play other jank shit like Allure of Darkness, but this is an easy 1-for-1 and just gives your opponents life points. Like, it's fine. If this ever comes back, like on Master Duel, I play Chicken Game at 3 and Upstart at 3 in my decks. If that ever happens in TCG, you know we're going to do that. You know it. Anyway, onto the extra deck. No Artemis. I hate not seeing Artemis. It's just a nice way to get Rod off field. It's not the biggest deal, but I do think it's crucial in Dark Magician to have a way to get Rod off field, to just recycle that Rod and your resources essentially by doing that. Obviously, there's Link 2s like IP and stuff. I don't think IP is that relevant compared to Artemis. I always see people play IP instead. I disagree with that, but it's a little nitpicky thing. Let's get on to the full list once again. Oh yeah, and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which is weird that it was there with Super Poly and this wasn't, but I guess the other targets kind of make up for everything, so it's fine. Oh yeah, it was weird to me that they weren't playing Beat Cop, because if you're going to play Mystic Mine DM, you may as well play Beat Cop, but sure, whatever. Alright, we're here with the deck list, and the reason I've remade it is so we can run some of those test hands. We're just going to do one real quick. Alright, well, this first hand isn't getting very far, is it? Let's go ahead and use Illusion of Chaos. What do we even want here? I suppose we need to go for draws with Magician Souls, because this hand is not ideal at all. Could go for Rod, but I feel like it's a Magician Souls kind of hand. Definitely not one of the hands you want to see right at the start. Now, I do think, while we've got 2 Circle, one of them's going to need to be a draw, so I think we actually hold it and put the Illusion of Chaos back, which feels mucho terrible, but I think that's how bad this hand is. We do have the Called by the Grave, so feeling pretty safe about getting the draws here. I'm going to send that Dark Magician to the grave to summon out the Magician Souls. Now we're going to take a peek. I probably should have circled first to look at the top cards and then Magician Souls based on what I saw, but wow, this isn't going to be too different after all, I guess. This is really bad. I don't want any of these, unfortunately. I didn't even pick an order, that's how bad it is. Well, unfortunately, this looks really bad. We've just kind of gotten unlucky, I want to say. I'm going to go ahead and send these two for a draw. It's bad. Error. We got an error. That's how bad the hand was. We got an error. Alright, let's run one more test hand real quick. Alright, this hand is not too much better. It can get to Dragoon or Dragon Knight. See what I mean about when you can make Dragon Knight, you just don't have the stuff to protect? It feels really bad. It feels really bad. So instead, we're going to go for that Magician's Souls here. We can put back an Illusion of Chaos because we've got a magical number of 2 of them. We're going to go ahead and send Dark Magician, but we are going to send to Summon because we would like to make a sort of fusion here. Probably just Dragoon at this point, though there's not really a good discard in the hand. Actually, we don't have even a good way to summon Timaeus here. Unfortunately, summoning Timaeus is going to pitch Illusion of Chaos, which is not ideal once again. This board is starting to look an awful lot like Dragoon Pass with barely anything. Now, of course, I've got the Call By to protect myself from an Imperm here. Sorry, from a Effect Veiler, not an Imperm. But then, of course, I would only have one card in hand, which is Skill Drain or a Dragoon Negate, and I can't pick. In this case, where we don't get hand trapped, great, I got Skill Drain Dragoon. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Yeah, that wasn't really that great, unfortunately. Let's move along to the next one. We do like to see Illusion of Chaos here. Hopefully can fix our hand up a little bit. We do have a Dark Magician here, so we really just want Circle and the rest of the gang. So let's go ahead and grab Magician's Rod. Probably putting back that Illusion of Chaos in a hand like this. Let's go ahead and normal summon Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod is going to activate. We're going to be looking for Circle because then we've got the whole setup going. Yeah, love to see it. We can Terraforming at this point. Actually, this could have been Salvation. Oh, we already have the Eternal Soul. I guess we go for Village in this instance because Village good, right? See, this is where the Artemis would be really nice in a hand like this. That's what I was saying about him not playing Artemis. Like, this is a perfect hand to link this away. And obviously, Artemis is 800 attack, so people are going to normal summon and try to beat over it. And you're just going to flip that Eternal Soul, summon DM, banish their thing. You got a bigger spellcaster, Rod Engrave, tribute Artemis, add the Rod back to hand. That's how I would play this hand out. This man's not playing Artemis, so you just have to do this. Let's see if Circle hits. It actually does. That's big. It's not big because we don't have a way to put DM in Grave turn 1. Big sad, big sad. Mystic Mine on top. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're going to Soul Servant the draw anyway, right? Setting 1, activating Village. Now, some people say, oh, well, with Artemis, 800 attack versus 1600 attack. But remember, we're going to Eternal Soul in their turn anyway at some point. Summon DM, who's 28. We always have access, 25. We always have access to a 25 beta under Village, which is quite big to out with just a normal summon, more or less. Outside of Pankratops or some jank-ass Kaiju shit. So let's go ahead and we probably just set this as well. I'd probably even set the Call By. You hard lose to Lightning Storm, but the deck does that anyway. And we've got your boy Village up. So this has been the best so far. And it would have been better if I had Artemis. So I don't know, guys. That's just more argument, in my opinion, to play Artemis. Like, you don't need this Link 5 more than you need Artemis, in my opinion. Or even IP, I would say. Just cut IP to play Artemis. But whatever. It's not my deck. So anyway, I'm going to slip the Goddess back in there. And we're going to talk about the deck overall. 2 Dark Magician, which he talks about at the start of the profile. I do love to see it. 2 DM is the way. I've said this for a while. There's just too many other bricks, guys. Timaeus, DMG, bricking on Illusion of Chaos, multiple copies of a card, like multiple Circle, multiple Eternal, don't do anything, right? It's not like Invoked where multiple Alistairs are good and actually can be beneficial. Multiple of any card in this deck is essentially trash. I can't think of a card in this deck I want to draw 2 of in my hand. I just can't. I'm maybe going second Mystic Mine Super Poly, but that's about it, right? It's very niche that you want 2 of anything in this deck, and you've got that many ways to search it through Illusion of Chaos now. It's probably really safe. Move on to the Timaeus ratio. 1. Perfect. Thank you. 1. 1 DMG. Perfect. If you're going to play DMG, it's 1. I love to see it. Triple Rod, Triple Souls. I think that's great. You got to play them. Triple Illusion of Chaos. I am kind of on the 2 fence just because we also have Prep, but he's just gone balls to the wall. 6 copies, right? 3 Prep, 3 Illusion, which means he's got 9 copies of Rod and Souls, but if you search 1, then it's not 9 for the other. But you get what I'm saying. Very consistent, which is nice. I don't mind people who just play for consistency. Like, I can't hate on it. I appreciate it. Now, here's a card where I think I've been wrong at it. I've been telling people not to play Dark Magic Attack for a long time, right? Alright, we're getting to the big ones. Dark Magic Attack. I've been telling people not to play Dark Magic Attack for a long time, right? I actually think in this Mystic Mine meta, as well as the fact that you can easily search this with Eternal Soul and then discard it for Dragoon and whatnot, I actually think that this is very viable in the deck at 1. Only will I say that about current format with Mystic Mine dominating the format, right? You got to play outs to it in the side. I'm not going to review his side deck. I don't give a shit. You can play whatever. But you got to main or side this at 1. You don't need more than 1 because you can recycle it once again with Soul Servant. I don't know how many times I got to say that. But yeah, you can search it when you need it with Rod or your Eternal Soul, which is actually pretty nice. And then, of course, recycle it with Soul Servant like any DM spell trap. 1 Terra because we've got the Terraforming, Set Rotation, and Metaverse package. I love that because you can set rotation, give your opponent Mystic Mine, and then put Village up for you. So you're like, you can have mine, I don't care. Like, it's not even going to be good for you. Or you can give them Salvation, which is never going to be good for them, but always good for you. So really good set rotation targets in this deck, to be honest. There's no quite Meltdown, you know, but it's still good. It's no Numeron Network or Meltdown, but they're still pretty good cards. 1 Monster Reborn. Now, I actually really rate this because bringing back Dragoon, Dragon Knight, or Dark Magicians with Reborn is big. Bringing back your opponents like Link Monsters too, so you can like bring back one of their Link 2s or 3s and climb into access code. Sensational, you love to see it. Even just summoning DM with Monster Reborn while Circle's up. Sometimes that's just a good play. I rate Monster Reborn, and it's very flexible, and it makes this deck have a little bit more pressure going second. Not the best card, but I never have a problem with it. Some people hate it because we go first a lot. I think this build goes second. You saw from the test stands how bad things were, and with Super Poly Mystic Mine, I think you go second with this build. You even got the Dark Magic attack main. This feels like a going second Dark Magician. Obviously, if you go first, you got Village Skill Drain stuff. But Mystic Mine with Super Poly, they're not the worst going first. Don't forget the combo you can do with Artemis. Once again, another reason to play Artemis. Alright, I gotta do this real quick. Alright, so here's how it's gonna work. Ignore this turn timer. I just skip ahead a bit. You're gonna normal summon your Rod. If you do get hand trapped on the Rod, that is quite unfortunate, but you do need to just have access to a spell trap that can be flipped on your opponent's turn, kind of at any time, more or less at any time. Soul Servant is perfect, can be flipped all the time. Great. That's the one you're gonna need. You probably shouldn't put them in the same column like I did, but it's okay because I'm gonna link away. So, another reason to play Artemis. You gotta do it. It's crucial to the deck, it's crucial to the Mystic Mine strategy. You pass turn. Your opponent's going to draw, fantastic. They're going to normal summon a monster at some point, right? If they have an open Lightning Storm, which they will because you play in DM. They're going to normal summon their Rod. They're going to get this effect. No matter what, like unless it's Imperm, they're getting their effect. Doesn't matter. Soul Servant, you need to chain it here. I normally go for Magician Souls. Depends what you need, but 90% of the time you're stacking this. Fuck it. They can search up Soul Servant as well. Why not? So from here, you got the Rod trigger. You're going to use it. You're going to tribute the Artemis. 4 cost, mind you. It's 4 cost. And you've already got what you wanted. Even if your opponent negates this, they've got to do it with a spell trap effect because they can no longer use monster effects under Mystic Mine. Congrats! You've locked your opponent under Mystic Mine with DM. Fantastic. And you've even recurred Rod, and you know for turn, you're going to be drawing that Soul Servant. Back in the days, that would make Anaconda and be very nice. Obviously, here it's not going to do anything. But you can see what I mean. Artemis is essential to the deck, especially if you play Mystic Mine or Dogmatica. Like, it's that simple, guys. You got to play him. You got to play Artemis. Anyway, let's take it out because old mate didn't play it. So where were we? Soul Servant at 3. You got to play it at 3. Preparation of Rites at 3. Yeah, you got to play it at 3. Oh, you don't have to. You can play 2. Anyway, Call by the Grave. It's fine at 1. It almost feels redundant, but it's fine. Like, if you're playing this without ref, it feels kind of dumb, but sure, I got to resolve that Rod effect, I guess. Super Poly, this is probably one of the only reasons the deck won. The amount of Super Poly targets here is just crazy. Like, you can go into this very easily, this very easily, and this very easily, so it makes sense. No Starving Venom, which I thought was weird, but it's no biggie because these kind of cover every deck. 1 Secrets, perfect ratio once again. Set Rotation, yeah, it's only at 1. Circle at 2, I like that ratio. Village at 2, I like that because you've got so many ways to it. You could probably even play 1. Mystic Mine at 3, you got it, it's broken. 1 Salvation, perfect ratio because card kind of sucks. Though it is good for like summoning Timaeus or getting a draw off Souls. Not so much summoning DMG, I know everyone mentions that effect. It's not the best use of Salvation. Salvation's main use is, like, what is my purpose? You set Eternal Soul, and then you get sent for a draw for Magician Souls, or you summon Timaeus. It's that meme. Metaverse, cracked card with mine, got to play it at 1. Can be asked, but whatever. Eternal Soul at 2, fine ratio, because you kind of got it at 3. You could even take 1 out, but it's fine, it works. Triple Skill Drain, so another power card. You can see all the power cards at 3 here. 3 Super Poly, 3 Mystic Mine, 3 Skill Drain. It makes sense. These are the cards that win you games, so you max out on them. I dig it. I dig it. Into the extra deck, 1 Dragoon, because yeah, you probably only need 1 Dragon Knight, 1 Dark Magicians. These are fine ratios. These are the only 3 fusions you ever need. You see people playing other DM fusions, I don't know what they're doing. They're trolling. They're trolling. Like, obviously you can play whatever DM fusions you want, but these are the only viable ones in like a competitive environment. These Super Poly targets, very nice. Goddess, not really sure why the Goddess. Maybe there's some big tech I don't know about. Access code with Unicorn and Celine works fine. IP, I still think this is kind of dog shit in DM. I know you can make it fairly easily, and there's no Link 2 anymore, like there's no Anaconda. So let's just give them credit where it's due, like it's a Link 2 that's generic, sure. Gravity Controller, they made a good point of saying you can go into it with this. You can Super Poly 2 of your opponent's things, put Garura into the extra monster zone, and then link it away, and you get a draw, because Garura says, when this card is sent to the graveyard, draw 1. So, Super Poly makes you discard, but you've added 2 things potentially in your opponent's board, and then you can actually get some of that value back from the discard and draw. Pretty good considering we mentioned how good Upstart is earlier, right? So from here you could go Soul Servant, right? Stack what you need, Garuda effect, right? Or even better, you could go Link into Gravity Controller, trigger Garuda effect to draw, chain Soul Servant, stack what you need. Could be really nice to stack Magician Souls there, or even like if you need Eternal Soul Salvation Circle, whatever you need, right? Very cool, very cool. So yeah, I actually dig the Gravity Control. The shit thing is, it can't be used for Link material until it's summoned. Bit of a yikes, but if you know you've got no way to climb, but if you have Soul Servant, you're going to go into this, so yeah, it kind of contradicts itself, doesn't it? Oh well, a draw, I'm not going to cry about a draw. Draw's always good, right? Though surely you would just link this away with something else, I guess, to get that draw. But anyway, I actually had a card wrong. My apologies. There was the Dark Charmer in there. I had a Link Spider instead. Apologies. I only just realized that. Fantastic. You got to play one the Dark Charmer. This card's nuts. It lets you climb into access code. I guess it lets you climb out. Not really. It basically just gets you to access code for free, and it forces your opponent to Imperm Vela Gamma, do something to stop this, even Ghost Ogre, because they need to stop it, or you're going Celine access code. Celine, of course, can also bring back your big boys, like your Dragoon, like your Dark Magicians. So, yeah, a lot of people will think Celine will just summon back Dragoon or go into access, but it can do a range of things in this deck. If you get enough counters on it, you can leave it on the field. There's like another copy of Eternal Soul, and just quick effect, keep bringing back spellcasters. You know what, summoning DM when circles up is always good. That's probably all you really want to summon from the main deck with it. But yeah, very cool. I'm Dark, super good to link Dark Magician off the field with, because it has a niche effect, probably won't really come up, but mainly you can secrets with it, then to go for Dragon Knight. Very nice. Relinquish Anima is really nice because you can use your Magician Souls to get some draws. Then you can link it into Anima and try force a negate from the opponent. So Magician Souls can try to force multiple negates here. You can go, oh, Magician Souls, you know, effect sending salvation, draw 1. The opponent might be like, oh, do I Imperm? Yeah, Imperm. And you're like, okay, cool. I'll link it to Anima, try take a monster, and they might have to force another response from there. So super good if your opponent just misplays the zones, which some decks don't have a choice, right? They have to put something there. So cool and good. Overall, that's the profile. I want to give this a 8 or 9 out of 10, to be honest. Really cool profile. The deck knows what it wants to do. You know, it's maxing out on the cards that win you games, and I love to see that. My biggest criticism is just the standard LOZA thing. No Artemis. I know there's some people who just don't see the relevance in this card, and it really does boggle my mind. It's almost like playing Salamangreat without Balinks. I know that's an exaggeration because Balinks searches their field spell. But this just sets up Rod. It sets up Mystic Mine on your like turn 1 Mystic Mine. Come on, guys. It's good. So my biggest advice to this deck profile is play Artemis, but congratulations on the result. It's very epic. I'm glad to see Dark Magician doing well. Even if it has to play Mystic Mine, you got to do what you got to do. Welcome back, your boy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, I'm going to be making a bunch more of these, so hit me up, boys. Like, subscribe, comment, hit me up on the DM Discord, and I'll catch you guys next time.